Hey y'all, this is going to be just a quick little pop-in on my way out, but I just want to give a quick update. CPS has been contacted. I'm not going to go into details with that, of course. I look like a mess, but no big deal. It is going to be what it is. We will handle whatever we need to handle from here. I'm assuming they were...
You can never take away the power of my
Were contacted a few days ago. There was some stuff that was happening behind the scenes, and so it's kind of been a little bit touch and go.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my
Oh, hilarious. Some people take the internet very seriously. Now, there are YouTubers out there who either don't have criminal records or bad pasts, as in that kind of thing, right? Because we all have troubles in our life and hard things that happen and stuff. And we have to learn. We got to grow up, all that, craziness. But there are people on this platform who have pretty tame lives. People that went to college, people that went to the military, people that went to school, people that went to work. Maybe have a couple little hiccups along the way, or they've messed up and had to overcome. But in reality, there are other YouTubers that have bad pasts. Now, I know a lot of them that talk about those pasts. They're just straight up with it. In fact, I always talk about an old friend of ours who made a lot of mistakes. He did a lot of things wrong. Not only in his past, but once he was in the current time with a lot of pressure. And, sometimes they would try to bring the past up against him, even though they didn't in the beginning. And he was very open with his past. He made it part of his content. And I'd always said that I respected that kind of thing. I've always said that regardless of what has happened in your past, if you're attempting to fix it or to learn from it, or if you shouldn't be ashamed regardless, unless it's something really, really, really bad. Now that's if you didn't hurt a lot of people, but most people haven't hurt a lot of people. They just have normal life experience, and you shouldn't be ashamed, because those experiences are what make you who you are now. They are what have taught you what is right and wrong with treating other people, so that you can become better or become who you are. If you took out the hardships in your past, you might just be a douchebag or something. But then, though, there are these YouTubers that have really bad pasts and presents where they harm people, they hurt people, they take advantage of people, they steal from people, and then they still do it on the platform. And so then when you notice that we have a kind of an expectation when you're on this platform, if your content or if you are going to target other people, or if you're going to mix yourself into big scenarios that involve large groups of people, and that's why you get criticized if you go in and act a fool. And some of these people, to protect their grift or their scam or what they do wrong from being criticized, from being exposed, because they know that if criticism starts against them and they're actively in the wrong, then it will affect their grift. It will affect their scam. And that's why they try to go in and hope to God that the people who criticize them have some hidden past or some scary thing or something they just don't want out there. And they try to take those things and dig and dig and dig and dig and hope they find something that they can throw out and scare that person away. Then again, what happens when you've got that kind of doxer, that kind of harasser, that kind of person who's creepy and they're willing to just do any disgusting thing they can to keep that bag coming in from that scam, what happens when they bump into a good person who's giving criticism, someone who doesn't meet the criteria for all that garbage? And what happens if they just fall flat in trying to get that person to shut up by the intimidation? They do things like you're about to hear about now, which is they go in and try to target that YouTuber. Doesn't work. What do they have? What kind of power do they have? Eventually, people like that, if they're desperate enough, if their scam is fragile enough, and if they are scamming money, if they are ripping you off, if they will lose money because of your criticism, and once they realize they can't target you, they'll go after your family. And they tried to go after nonsense. We saw it. We've documented it. We have historialized it. We have updated you on every piece of the puzzle as it goes in relation to the targeted harassment campaign, not just from Molly Golightly or Bullhorn Betty, domestic violence Betty, if you will, or any of these other people. Yes, I did steal that. I let them know I was stealing it from them. But you've got, it's not just Bullhorn Betty and it's not just Molly and their very, very close internal group. It's this group of people that want to impress them. And they just came from a failed community, a community that tried to use a targeted harassment campaign against another problematic YouTuber named Katie Joy. Now, all of you know about this. I don't have to detail it. Some of those caters realized that if they, after talking to Molly, after begging her to come on their show, they needed to play ball with Molly's rules and help her fight her enemies in order for them to get Molly on their small little streams. Hey, Molly's time is worth something, and if you don't have money to pay her because your content hit a flat line after your targeted harassment campaigns and scams were exposed, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay Molly to come on? Well, you could pay her in helping her dox, helping her harass, becoming one of her little enforcers. And that's exactly what's led up to this happening to nonsense. After they tried to get her husband fired, I'm here to document that they've now tried to get her kids CPS swatted. So before any of you flip out about me using the term swatted, when you swat a person, you try to get the popo to go mess with them. And you can get in a lot of trouble for that. You can go to prison for that. There is a dude in prison for 20 years right now for swatting somebody. But there's a relatively new form of swatting where you go to CPS and instead of the police, and you don't send the cops after the YouTuber you're mad at. You send the kid cops, the kid SWAT team after their children. If you call CPS and you file a relatively tame report and CPS reaches out to that YouTuber, you have called CPS on them, sure. But why do I say that they CPS swatted nonsense? Because they called CPS and they must have said something and lied about all these things to get them to rush out there because obviously they felt that those kids were in some kind of trouble or some kind of problem. That's right. I'm here to tell you, and I got Navy with me, that Molly Golightly and that little group that I've been showing you, and I'm going to break it all down before nonsense goes live here in a little bit. They are trying to harass her kids because they are mad about her opinion on the internet. If you thought anything we've brought you in the last X amount of months has been a cringe fest, this is the ultimate cringe. This is the ultimate cringe, the ultimate desperation. It is the worst possible thing that these people can do. You can't get at her. You can't mess with her mom and her sister. You can't mess with her hubby. Because those people are laughing at how goofy and just sick you are. So you go to the one place you know that if you mess with the kids, that because they're kids, they're going to step in and at least look and see what's going on. I hope that CPS, I hope that the authorities will do everything in their power to find out who filed these reports. And I hope they'll lock them up, number one. If you think it's extreme for me to say they should be locked up, CPS and these other agencies literally are the ones providing assistance to children who are being abused sexually, physically, mentally. They are saving them from situations that they're in that ruin their lives. And when you waste the time of this organization, yes, you are taking resources away from children who need help. That's factual. Not only are you costing it money, they aren't helping kids that need help now because they're busy going on a fake call. Now, I don't care who you are. You love your kids. And you love them so much that even if it's just an annoyance that they've done this to nonsense, even if it's not going to change things in their family and in their life, she's still going to worry about it because she loves those kids. You're dealing with the most vile people out there. There's vile people on this platform and on the internet. And you've just watched us YouTubers that have been leading this whole charge to criticize these people bump into the worst YouTubers out there. Molly wants to take the crown. She and her followers, they think that nobody knows who they are. They want to take the crown as the most scummy. Okay, you can have your reward after today. You are the most scummy. You are the grossest because you're just as bad as other people that target and harass children, adults that are harassing children on YouTube. It's almost hard for me to say it because it's so cringy. They're that mad. That is how mad they are because of words that have come out of another person's mouth. They could have just ignored the words. Well, they really couldn't because the criticism from nonsense and our communities and myself and all the other people out there, I can name them all. Heels in the air, everybody. That criticism is costing them money. If any of you thought they didn't care, you're wrong as of today. You just learned you were wrong as of today. If any of you thought they weren't bothered, they are the most bothered. They're salty. They got salt literally falling off of them everywhere they go. This is some salty, salty shit, y'all. You ready to take a look at this, Navy?
Oh, yeah, Bubba, let's do this.
Lordy almighty. They're trying to set some records is what's going on.
So it was kind of expected, but still a little whatever. So just so you guys know, that is what is happening today. Wednesday just likes to get weirder and weirder. So we will handle it appropriately. If you guys are just hopping in.
Sue Molly, do you need money? Is that what you need, nonsense? You need money? Because I never run fundraisers. If you want a fundraiser, I will get you thousands and thousands of dollars. I will go to my main channel. I'll go to this channel. I'll go to my Twitter. I will go to every creator that I can, and we will get you at least 20 G's so that you can sue the living shit out of Molly. Get yourself, go on a vacation. Take those kids to Disney World after you own her in court, and if you need money to do it, we'll pay for it. You just need to, all you got to do is say the words. And I'm not joking. Last time we did a fundraiser, we were trying to get 5 G's for a friend for a lawsuit. Got it instantly. She needs the money. We'll get it for her.
And it's a quick one. CPS was contacted. So just so you guys know.
And you know, don't say that Molly won't be owned in court. We've got a video of Molly literally saying that she's going to go after Nonsense's family. Then we've got mountains of proof that she did go after her family, after her husband. And when she didn't get results from it, now this is happening. You're going to try to say that it's someone else? Is that what you're going to try to say? It ain't, you know who did this. Literally, this is a slam dunk case, man. God, I wish she would sue. I wish Nonsense would sue Katie. Katie. Molly.
Yes, of course.
Melissa says she'll donate. Nonsense, you need to go talk. Just talk to a lawyer. Call him on the phone. Just call him on the phone. Let them know what happened. Give them the video clips of Molly and ask them if they want to take. I bet you'll get pro bono on this. I bet somebody will help you just for the sake of it.
Expected it. It came. Oh, I glitched at the beginning. I look like crap. I'm getting ready to walk out the door, but
You don't look like crap. You are doing great. Glad we've backed you. I'm glad we're back in this community, and I hope this community grows. I hope it gets bigger. I hope people start supporting it more. And I really do hope you guys consider tagging Team YouTube with us on our Twitter, because that can help us at least get her channel taken down. And I don't ever talk like this about another creator until they start doxing. And even after Molly doxed, we tried to tell her to stop. And now look at this. This is the effect of doxing. I'm going to get boring in a minute, and I'm going to break it all down, but I'm going to let Nonsense talk for a second.
I just wanted to give you guys an update. I told you guys I would do it all up front, and here we are. So it is what it is. We expected it.
Thousands of people support you. Thousands upon thousands of people support you. Everybody in my community supports you. I don't know if it matters, but they do. Okay, and it's bigger than it's bigger than this channel. Bigger than this channel. I hope she decides to do something, because I'll take it to my main channel in a heartbeat.
I don't know what else to say about it. I'm trying to laugh because what else are you gonna do?
You need to laugh. All of us need to laugh, because this is just literally the cringiest thing ever. Can you imagine sitting in your home? You've got this, Molly's got this nice house. She's just got this hubby. She's got everything she wants. She's got this money. She's going around yelling at everybody, doing all of her stuff. And she hates her life so much that she literally has her minions go after her kids. Not her and the hubby. That didn't work. She did do that, but it didn't work. And she literally said, you know what? The hubby thing didn't work. We didn't get him fired. Let's go after those kids. They are so mad. They're so mad at Nonsense. Nonsense has them so triggered. They would go after children. How are they victim advocates? Now, here's the fucking crazy part, y'all. When you go after adults, yeah, we can sit here and we can talk about how any YouTuber or any person out there supporting Molly is supporting this garbage. We can talk about that when she's doxing people. It doesn't have that yanking effect on people, because we're talking about adults. Some people will think, you know what? Those adults chose to get up there and criticize Molly. They knew she was a doxer. And if YouTube won't do anything, you know, whatever. But the problem is you can't say that now. Can't say it now. Things have changed drastically. And now this, I think, will get people. This will get people to wake up. You support her. If you're a YouTuber and you've had her on your channel, if you've been talking about her, if you've been supporting her, and you don't call this out and yank your support right now, are you really going to say that you're not supporting them going after these kids? I mean, seriously. Everybody sits there and they say that the reason they do all of this is for the kids. I don't, but they do. All of them do. Not Nonsense, but you know what I'm saying. Why they, got to do their thing to help kids, to help people. Oh my God, victim advocate, right? But you're going to ally yourself with the victimizer, because you can't do it. You can't go after kids and then say you're not these things. You can't do it.
Like, you know how many resources this wastes? Shit like this wastes? Oh,
yes.
Look at that. I don't have godly hair today. You know how many resources it
I hope to get my beard that long soon.
wastes doing stuff like this to kids? Like, you know how many it does? Like, that's the part.
It legit stops them from helping kids while they're getting the reports filled up, getting a hold of the higher up, sitting down, looking at the case. We're talking hours upon hours upon hours of multiple people that would be helping kids in trouble. Factually, literally, no exaggeration, no virtue signal, have their time ripped away from them so they can go and look at a nothing burger because they targeted these kids. Go ahead, Navy.
Well, I mean, it's bad enough that these bridge trolls like to go out and waste cops' time with the crap that they like the stuff that they like to pull, right? That they're knowingly taking away resources from what everyone knows to be one of the branches of government that is solely undermanned and underappreciated.
Definitely. So true. So true.
That bothers me is this is an adult, like, we are dealing with internet stuff. Yes, a lot of them like to go real life and do.
You know what's sick, man? They did this to Nonsense knowing that Nonsense is supporting not just does she have her own kids, Navy? I'm not trying to be nosy, but does she have her own? Yes,
there's if I remember correctly, there's 3 kids total. One is hers from a previous relationship, and then the other 2 are the nieces. And so this guy that they try to have fired, her husband, is a man who's supporting his wife and 3 kids that aren't biologically his, but he loves them just the same. And they try to get this man fired.
He's their father, and Nonsense Becky is taking care of kids, not just her own, but others. And it's because of extenuating circumstances. That's literally it. That's the thing. It's like, they're not just, they knew this before they did it though. Okay. They doxed her. They knew this before they went and, filed the false CPS shit. So they're basically like sitting there like, she is doing what we pretend to do. Let's try to take it away from her. Let's try to ruin the kids' lives. If we ruin the kids' lives, it'll ruin hers too. Ooh, let's do it, says Molly and her simps. Are you guys that salty? Well, you are. You are that salty. Like, do they not think this is gonna backfire on them? What do they think they're gonna do? Say that they didn't do it? Molly literally went live and told everybody she was gonna do it.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Yeah, right. All right.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do it even though I went live and told everybody I was gonna do it. No, Molly, you did it. Those people, now listen to this. So, some of these people that have been helping Molly go after Nonsense legit think they're just going to say, I didn't help, and people are going to believe them. So if you're a YouTuber and you've been defending Molly, or if you've been going at Nonsense for Molly, if you've gone after Nonsense randomly right after, you and your community start allying with Molly, I hope you're gonna, for your own sake, stand up against this. Because if you don't, you're wrapped up right in this. I'm sorry. This is too extreme. It's like, what would people say if Brian Koberger was a YouTuber and a big community supported him, and then he did this, and then they kept, their mouths shut? Or they just went along and did other things, or they defended him. No one would call it extreme at all to say that they are supporting what Brian did. So this situation is that concept, not as extreme, but that concept is at play here. I really do. This is beyond YouTube. So if they do have a YouTube career to any degree, I hope you disavow Molly today. I know you're not going to, and it's going to be funny as hell, entertaining as hell to watch them still defend Molly or still go after Nonsense. And then literally they're going to say, those of you who think that we helped Molly are conspiracy theorists. Well, you know what? You literally started helping Molly right before Nonsense got doxxed. So we already know that Molly couldn't get the dox. And then people who have been doxing people for years, bragging about how they have, a state position and they can look people up, or they have connections that can dox and look people up for them, start helping Molly, and then they dox her, and then this happens. Now, again, those same people, it goes even further, guys. It goes even further. That same community has called CPS on people over and over and over and over in the past. They've done it a million times. You all know it. I know it. They know it. Okay? Oh, by the way, I've got more. That same community gets shit on all the time because they constantly are targeting and harassing the kids of the YouTubers that they don't like. And they are the ones who started to help Molly. So they can't say there's no evidence. What is it? It's we're the fucking conspiracy theorists. No, you've got to be the conspiracy theorist to say that you're not guilty on this. Now, I'm not going to say you're guilty if you disavow Molly, but when you disavow Molly, you got to tell the truth. And we know that community knows who did this. You know that those people who have been hitting it nonsense, trying to make fun of her and going bullying the shit out of her and all this, right before she's doxxed, and then they kept on doing it, and they kept supporting Molly, and now this, they know who did this. That whole group that's been going after nonsense did this as a group. Now, one of them called CPS, but all of them brainstormed what they could do throughout this mess. All of them worked as a group to harass her, to dox her, and to give Molly the info. Now, Molly sat there. Now, what did Molly do? What did you say earlier that Molly did? Something recently, like where she wanted Nonsense's husband's info or her info.
Yeah, she wanted, it was her info. I can't remember if it was hers or her husband's, but she wanted to give it to her husband. So I think she wanted her info to give it to Walter, her husband, right? For what reason?
You know, Walter, it looks real bad, Walter, when you have Molly live telling people she's going to do this to people. And then right before it happens, she posts saying, hey, Simp Force, I need you to give all the doxy stuff to Walter, please. I'm going to give it to Walter. I'm going to get him to help me. You know, Walter, it kind of looks like she did that. She gave you the info and then this happened. Actually, that's the literal timeline. Now, I'm not saying Walter did it because I don't think Walter did. I know it's probably going to be extreme. You're going to say, why don't you go ahead and blame Walter? Well, I can't blame Walter. I'm going to blame the people who are actually sitting in Discord servers doing this to nonsense, which is those caters. If you want to know who, just go look at Twitter. Just go scroll the accounts. Go scroll Sassy's. Go scroll, the llama drama, the lobster people. You'll see the ones that have been doing this. You'll go scroll a YouTube channel or two. Because the Elmos out there and the others, they've had Molly on their channel right before this happened. Now, if it's valid for you to talk about nonsense, and if you've had Molly on your channel, you literally can't just stay quiet about this. You're going to have to talk about this. And when you talk about this, are you going to disavow Molly finally? Are you going to go after Molly from now on like you would go after Katie? Because what if Katie would have did this? If Katie would have did this, there'd be literally 50 YouTubers talking about it for the next 6 months every single day. And that's just a fact. So since Molly did it, you're either going to have to go after her now like you would her, or really expose yourselves as hypocrites again for the 1000th time. But go ahead, Navy. Sorry.
So for people that want to see proof of the post that I just talked about, it's in the bottom of general.
Well, here, let me just throw it up on the screen real quick so people won't say that we're lying or anything. Because, we always back our shit up here. But, yeah. Here's the... who here has the personal information of nonsense? I'm going to hand over to my husband. It just occurred to me. Yeah, it just occurred to you that you wanted to go after the kids. It just occurred to you can't get through to nonsense. You can't get through to the hubby. So you got to go after the most vulnerable. You got to victimize. You got to victimize the most vulnerable. You're a real piece of work over there, Molly the Caters and the other Molly simps that helped her. You guys are a real piece of work.
Crazy things of that nature. But the problem is, this is waste.
I agree, Melissa. Walter doesn't get a pass. I'm just not going to put the CPS thing on Walter unless I have more info. Because I do know that the Caters do this all the time to people with CPS. So the people that did this are the Caters, along with those other people that helped Molly. Yes, you can still say that group that split away is responsible because they still helped. They were still there and they were still kind of like, they have these little power struggles between them, but they're still doing the same thing. They're doing it together. They all know. Like, you look at what we know what we know due to the fact that we've got thousands of eyes and ears, and everyone's clicking in when they have time so we can see everything. And whenever someone sees something that matters, they throw it. Well, even if it doesn't matter, they just throw the stuff they think matters over to us. And then we sit here all night, all day, and go through everything, order it together, and bring you the content so that we can put a history to what's going on. That way, the narrative, the truth, the history is right there for everybody. Takes a lot of time, and people will say, well, you're wasting your time. I'm not wasting my time. Because these people have been getting away with this shit. The fact is, when we come in, they think, oh, we're going to go after them, right? And we don't like that they go after us, but in all reality, if they have to be stopped, we have to know what they're doing. And they're really dumb for going after me and Nonsense and others, because what they're doing is confirming to us that all of you that have rushed to our channels, because, dude, you guys flooded my channel. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm glad you did, but I'm saying you did, and you told me everything they've been doing for years. And of course, there were other people that are like simping for Molly who would say, they're lying to you, UNIRock. Molly's a good person. She wouldn't do that. Well, we know what Molly does because of this. Molly, when we have to fact check Molly, does she dox like this? Does she go after kids? Does she go after families? Does she try to ruin lives? Is she a victimizer, or is she a victim of people lying on her? Here's your answer.
Wasting resources that are so needed by so many people in our country. There are so many kids in abusive homes.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, everybody.
There's so many kids that
We've got a couple topics to hit, guys. This isn't the only one, and the next one's pretty important. And I know some of you are busy and stuff. Hopefully, you guys will stick around for a second. Make sure you hit like for me, because I want, the more you like the video, the more people are going to get it recommended. I want people to know that this happened. When Nonsense goes live, support the living hell out of it. Okay, hit it up, share it, hit the anytime you interact with her video. Like button, share button, comment, whatever it is, you are boosting it every time. Upvote, downvote, whatever, you're boosting it. So support the living hell out of it.
Fall through the cracks of our foster system, our kinship care systems, like all of it. There's so much need for this.
People who false report like this are literally not just victimizing her kids. They are victimizing the ones that they're taking resources away from. Fact. Okay? Unfortunately, there's no way for us to track this stuff, to be able to show you how bad it is that this happens. This is, though, having a real negative effect on those kids that are affected by this. It's not a virtue signal. It's not bullshit. It's not a lie. It's a part of the story. It's literal part of the story.
And this is what we're doing over internet drama. That's the part that will never set okay with me. Again.
Well, that's why you are doing good. That's why we need to support you more, because the only way we can bleach this off of our platforms is to talk about it. And the only way we can get YouTube to act is to show more and more and more communities and more people that they're doing this. Your favorite YouTuber, the next YouTuber out there who sees what Molly's doing, they're going to make a video. When someone stumbles upon it, you have to, because she's so crazy. She's so nutty. She's so nasty. She's so evil. Her, Betty, the Caters, all of them. Eventually, more and more and more people are going to make videos about what's going on. That is our ecosystem. And when they do, this same thing will happen to them until we tag Team YouTube more and more and more. We just got to keep doing it. But nothing's happening right now, Uni. It's not working. It's working. It is working because we're building it and building it and building it. Eventually, they're going to have to step in. They're going to have to answer us. That we have to just keep doing it.
It was expected. I said it was going to happen. And it's pretty sick too. I'm gonna put it this way.
It's sick.
Oh my gosh, my memberships, Rebecca.
They're working. You got it.
Thank you so much. I didn't even realize that was on.
It definitely can be considered them terrorizing the kids. And that's why I'm saying things changed with this. Before, they were trying to terrorize adults. It was really bad when they terrorized the husband. Again, he's an adult. It doesn't make it better, but it's just not as grabbing. It doesn't jar you as much. But when you notice that you got innocent children, you got innocent adults already. Nonsense is innocent. Nonsense has a damn right to go live. You have a right to go live and give your opinion on what they're doing. And if you're really good, you really show evidence, you have good takes, people are going to listen. If you just get up there and lie, if you get up there and make stuff up, people aren't going to listen. They're going to go away after they see it. And because Nonsense is telling the truth, more and more people are backing her. They're listening to her because Molly keeps lying. She's losing it, and it makes her angry. It makes her madder. And she's gotten so mad. She's gotten so angry. She's gotten so vitriolic now. You can't just target the adults anymore. You got to go after the most innocent ones out of the whole group. In fact, you're not even going, they're not in the group. These are just these kids are strangers. They have nothing to do with this. You know, they really have nothing to do with this. Their lives should not be affected because we exercise our rights. When we don't do anything wrong, we're not doing anything we shouldn't be doing, right? And these kids are still being terrorized by Molly, the Caters, and the people helping and supporting Molly just because they're that desperate. I told you they'd get this way, man. We've seen them go this far many times. People, not just Molly, it's people that run scams like Molly and Betty. People that fake that they run a LARP and they start making money and they realize, shit, dude, I got to keep pretending I'm really reporting. I got to keep pretending I'm really doing this, really helping victims, really going and reporting things and solving mysteries. They're like a warped out Scooby-Doo crew of crackheads people that are targeting kids.
You guys figured it out. I knew it was on, but I didn't know how to get the link.
Jump on in the mystery mobile, Molly, Betty, and let's go to another crime scene and scream and yell and act a fool. Hey, there's a couple random kids chilling. Let's terrorize their lives.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Thank you.
You're freaking weirdos, man. You're crazy. How do they sit and talk about Kohberger? How do you sit and talk about any of these crazy people? They're crazy, but you're a brand of crazy too. You like literally, how does Kohberger get so crazy? Because he keeps feeding the crazy in his head. This is crazy. This is extreme. You know, you're like, oh, Uni, you're just putting your act on for this. No, I'm not. I don't have to, because this is crazy.
For joining the membership. That's totally random in the middle of this. That's not a good look.
It is a good look. You want to know why it's a good look? Because you're doing a good thing. And you don't deserve this. And I'm glad they're supporting you. I'm glad they're membering up with you. I hope they blow your channel up. You know what I want? Oh my God, I want their channel. I want her channel to hit 100,000. Can we get her to hit 100,000 before Molly? Probably not, but my God, would that not be hilarious?
Anyways,
she could do it. She could do it. Her and her husband could do it. They could do content every day. They could entertain people every day. They could keep doing this. They could have a big channel. Tell me she can't, man. She's good at this. She could have a big channel.
I think it's just always wonderful.
She's dedicated. You know, it's that dedication. It's the work ethic. It's the commentary. It's all there. She's got it where it needs to be. You know, she could take it up. She could blow it up.
But you have kids who, again, I love my sister. I love their mom. Like, that's my sister. You know, I'm not.
You're a good person for helping. We don't need to know. You know, your sister and her life and these scenarios, thank God in heaven, whatever happened with her, has a sister that'll step in and help her right now. Right. And because you did, it'll show her that, you know, hey, get over whatever you're on, whatever it is, you know, that thing in your life that's tearing things down, get over it, or that's affecting you, get over it, whether it's cancer, whether you're sick, whether it's an issue. And then, you know, there are people out there that got your back. Get back in here and do it the right way. That's what you're doing. You didn't have to. You wouldn't have to do this. I don't think that these people that are attacking you, they don't do this kind of thing. They aren't good people. They're too busy doing what they do and lying about themselves and scamming money. Because you don't scam money. You don't lie. You don't create a LARP for you to be in the mystery mobile, you know, interfering with crime scenes when you can do other good things in your life, right? You do that shit because you're in a bad position. You don't like where you're at. and you want to literally take from others by deceiving, by lying, by bullshitting. And in order to protect the scam, you can't have criticizers like nonsense. They make so much money, guys. They're willing to go after kids because of the amount of money. You remember, just YouTube revenue alone, $18,000 off their last scam. And don't tell me that them going after Dre wasn't a scam, because they never responded once we showed that it was a lie. We went in and pulled video evidence of their day-to-day life and showed that they lied about it. Did they apologize? Fuck no, they tripled down. Why? Because unfortunately, it's what gets the audience. If I come here and present nonsense, having Molly, swatting her, CPS swatting her kids like this in an attempt to ruin their lives to hope that it'll knock her off the internet or slow her down on her criticism, and I show it to you, it's not that exciting. So it's not going to pull at your wallets. It's not going to make you want to send donos in. It's not going to entertain you a lot. If though Molly goes out and she's like, dude, you know where that guy tried to off himself and he's in a coma? I found the biggest mystery ever. It turns out his wife is trying to murmur him and poison him and starving the kids and doing all this right under everyone's nose. That's exciting. And then you say, damn, this YouTuber Molly is saving the kids. I'm going to throw my money out there. And then she brings in Letitia. It's a scam. And it made so much money, so much cash, 18 G's in one money source, two money sources, memberships and super chats. We aren't even talking about the I don't even remember what it was, but it was thousands of dollars in Patreon money on top of the 18 G's. And then the Cash App and the PayPal. Do you really think that Cash App and that PayPal didn't make an equal amount to all that other shit I just named? It at least made an equal amount to that other stuff. This is like a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per month when the scam is at its peak operation. You really not going to try to ruin a couple kids' life if you're nasty enough to try to ruin Dre and her family? Well, of course you're going to go try to ruin nonsense in her family. You ruin Dre's family, her life by lying, by bullshitting so that you could make that money. You sold your soul to Satan to make that cash. Why in the hell are you going to stop now?
That's nobody's business why they're here or anything of that
You don't have to tell anybody. Fuck them. It's not anyone's business.
Nature. But you have kids that have had severe, significant issues and have had CPS interaction previous times in the past.
And it scares them. It terrifies them. They don't understand. All they think is when this agency comes in, they hear those letters and it terrifies them. It's like a nightmare for those kids. And it's not the fault of CPS. It's life. It's a tragedy. It's another exploitation. It's another tragedy pimping is what it is. Because they're trying to now pimp on a tragedy they create, which is the false CPS reports to nonsense children. They are willing to terrorize those kids to bring this agency into their life. They remember, oh God, whatever happened before with when mom had a tragedy, when mom had a life issue, it really ruined it in their mind. It was hard for them. So it's terrifying to them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You do, right? And they're going to just throw it on them again. They're just going to terrorize those kids again. There's real damage here. Okay? There's real damage when they try to get him fired from his job. There's real damage because, how do you know that the boss man, when you filed all those fake ass reports to her husband's job, what if the boss man started looking at him sideways? What if they go to promote somebody or they got to fire somebody and they got him and he's a great worker, but he's set up against another great worker. This great worker, they have people calling in, filing reports every fucking day. It's just wasting our time. And we got this worker, nobody's calling in there. It could affect his work too. but it doesn't stack the damage, the nastiness, the tragedy, the weaponized tragedy of what they try to do to her husband doesn't stack to what they're doing to the kids.
Past. Multiple times in the past. Do you know what this does to kids?
Depression, anxiety, trauma. That's what it does.
It triggers them.
Yes.
It triggers PTSD.
Yes. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Do you know that what trauma looks like? Some of you don't. And that's obvious because...
Okay. If you want to see the rest of this video, I want you to watch it. I want you to support her. I'm going to send you there. I'm going to put it on my Twitter at UNIRocktv, twitter.com/UNIRocktv. If you want the link, I hope you get the link. Also, she's going to be going live in a little bit, so make sure you go over and support her live. Stop in, give her a like, give her a share, hang out, blow up the chat, do what you do. UNIRock sent me. You don't even have to do it, but you know what I'm saying. It's a quick little update on Nonsense's channel. You see it? Nonsense's channel. I love the palm tree in her name because it sets her apart. It sets the channel name apart. Genius, because I've never seen anyone else do this. This is genius. Make sure you go watch it, but we need to talk about this. We got a few things to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Navy, what do you think about what Nonsense just said? Because I know you support Nonsense. You talk with Nonsense, you know. Insanity, right?
Oh, it's criminal. It's yeah. You know, these supposed advocates for children, they're there to help children, literally work behind the scenes to traumatize them. Yeah. Again and again, and attack good folk that all they did was disagree with you, and you want to go at them like this. Yeah, you're an evil person. Sorry, you're straight up evil. There's no other word for it. You're evil, and you need to be stopped.
Yep. So, real quick, I got to do a couple things to cover my bases because these people lie. You know, if they weren't bold-faced pathological liars, I could have just said what I said and I'd be good, but I can't. I got to cover my bases. I got to tell you how we know it's Molly. I got to tell you how we know her friends help her. And I got to tell you how we know which groups of people affected and helped with this. Also, I got to talk to the people that support Molly out there. And I got to make sure that my commentary is on point because that's what they do. They're not honest. They don't interact with you while being honest so that we can exchange commentary and whoever has the best take wins. Because that's YouTube. They don't play by the rules. They don't play by YouTube's rules. They lie, they're dishonest, and they bullshit. They'll just say anything. Also, after we do those things, we've got to talk about how a member of the community that I won't name had something happen involving a very bad, I'll just say it like this because I'm trying to maintain privacy to the person. An individual has an extremely bad record, but that person has been injecting themselves into stories, into YouTuber communities, and DMing and buddying up into getting very close to people and trying to find, basically handling people's private information. Like, I'll give you an example. When the fraud raisers happened, like instead of this person being on the outside watching, this person was sending around people's private information, not in a negative way, but they were doing that. And it turns out that they had an extremely bad record. So we're going to talk about the level of, we're going to kind of handle that subject because it's hard to understand. I want to maintain people's privacy at all costs. And I also want to make sure that we can tell you the details of a story so that you can understand what we're talking about, follow the story, and be able to give an opinion based on what's there. And that's why it's hard to kind of handle stories with those kind of pressures. We're going to talk about that I think that's the last thing we're going to hit, so let's get to it. First things first. Hey, Betty. Hey, Olivia. Anyone that supports Molly, along with the people that have been helping her recently, the new people helping her, and Caters. Hey, you know who else I'm talking to? Old Charlotte on the web. I want to know how you feel about a YouTuber doing this to kids. Are you okay with it? Are you going to support a YouTuber that does this? Are you going to talk about it? Are you going to expose this? Are you going to sweep it under the rug? Are you going to try to damage control for Molly? Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's get this pumping. It is 7:12 p.m., 19:12 p.m., 1/18 of 2023. We're going to try to do this pretty quick. We're going to talk a little faster and move it along tonight. Broadcasting from the East Coast of the glorious United States of America. This, Nights of our live streams, UNIRock Live.
Hey y'all, this is going to be just a quick little pop-in on my way out, but I just want to give a quick update. CPS has been contacted. I'm not going to go into details with that, of course. I look like a mess, but no big deal. It is going to be what it is.
I don't even know why I try anymore. I don't even know. You can't replace me. I'm awake, it's time to break free. I'm levitating.
You know, first things first, I want to just say to nonsense, I'm sorry that you have to go through this. You know, I forget sometimes because I've gone through this for years. I've had this happen for years to me. Documented. So many people have gone after me. They lie. They just make stuff up. They think somehow that they're desperate. They're desperate. They're childish. And they just are trying so hard to do it the wrong way. And it's just so sad. You know, you try to give them advice. You try to let them know, like, could you just imagine if Molly would have tried to do things the right way after the Dre thing fell apart? She could probably be converting all that nastiness into a following. They never do that. They never do it. Once they start, it's crazy because, you know, there are people out there and they hold an opinion that if you have a bad record or if you do something wrong, you can never trust that person again. You can't, did that person rob a bank? Oh, they can't come around me ever again. You know, they haven't done anything in 10 years. So they have a propensity to do these things. I'm telling you, you better listen to me. Some people hold those opinions. I don't think you should, but some people do. Molly and people like her give a bad rep to anyone out there who's made a mistake in their life because they show you just that they're going to never stop doing this. Peggy, oh my goodness. Thank you, Peggy. You're amazing. Appreciate you. But really, all I want to do, I don't want to ramble too much, and I'm bad at not rambling, so I'll just say I'm desensitized, not to when it happens like right now in this moment, but I'm desensitized before these things happen because, you know, I try to encourage people to get online and give their opinion, and we should be able to. This stuff shouldn't happen, man. This is the fact that it happens, I'm sorry, is just shows how salty they are. They don't have any, what word is it, Navy? Like when a person has no restraint and they'll just act a fool all the time. What's like the best word there?
It's a good word for it. They just have no no self-respect.
No self-respect, no dignity is a good one, I guess.
No dignity, no self-pride, they just do whatever they want. It's crazy.
And it's even crazier that the things they want to do equate to this. And somehow they always find you got to tell me. You can't tell me that after Molly is doxxed and gone after so many people's families that she does it and doesn't look in the mirror. At least sometimes there has to be. Maybe it's like in the middle of the night. Sometimes she'll wake up and think, damn, I shouldn't live like this. Or maybe she's looking in the mirror like, you know, maybe I should be nice. But these thoughts have to go through their minds because, I mean, the amount of nasty and evil, you hear them. It's like they're programmed. It's like they're robots. She'll get up on her stream and talk about how messed up it is to go after children, to hurt children, to cause harm to children, to cause harm to people, right? but it just, she can't stop herself. You know, she kind of is a little bit of a lesson to true crime. Because she's like involved in, and this is not legal. The stalking alone is a violation of her privacy. The fact that they go and they dig like that is a violation of the privacy. And they want to say, nuh-uh, reporters can do it after they have been trained and prove that they know and understand ethics. They understand not to treat people this way once you look up their stuff. So if you haven't gone through that type of training, if you haven't gotten your degree and you're digging like that on someone, yeah, you're doing something wrong. You're cyber stalking them, because that ethics training, understanding those really complicated philosophical and ethical considerations, is why you have to pay so much money and go to a college for so long to be able to do that kind of work. It's why they skip it. And then they skip it and we say, you're not a reporter. You don't even know the basis of ethics. And they're like, no, I'm a real reporter. Look, I printed a badge. And we criticize them. You're not a reporter. So then them doing this, them acting like this, every time they act in that kind of disgusting way and all that cringy way, they're proving us right. And they do it daily. It's incredible the amount of content they give to us when they act so angry that we have the content to cover. Okay, the people that support Molly now aren't just supporting a vicious doxer. Hey, you can't put Molly's doxes on me. That's wrong. Actually, yeah, I can. I can put these things on you now. I can also put her doing this to her kids on the people that support her. Because if Molly didn't have this kind of support from all these people, let's pretend for a second that every single person that supports Molly went live right now to their entire audiences. They pulled up the stuff that I've shown you in the last week and showed people who has been targeting nonsense, and they showed people the video clips of Molly telling people to do this, telling people to dox her, telling people to go get her info and bring it to her, and showing her actually doxing her. If they all right now did that, Molly would lose a giant chunk of her support, because a large number of people that support Molly, they think she's not doing this. They think Molly gets up. Well, that's why she gets up there and she'll pretend like she's not doing this stuff. You know, she'll slip up. She'll late night stream going crazy, admit to doing this stuff, or tell people to dox somebody. The reason she deletes it, the reason she says the opposite the next day, is to keep the majority of her audience there. And so, yes, those of you that are supporting Molly, those of you that have talked about Molly, talked about nonsense, hosted Molly, and you choose not to cover this, not to get up there and do something about this, yes, it's your fault. Yes, you are to blame. Not to the direct extent, but for supporting it. You are to blame. There is a blame there. There is a criticism there. So then the next part is, how do we know who did this? Well, it's simple. I've already said it. You can listen to the stream from the beginning. If you want to know more details, listen to my stream from yesterday. Catch up on the streams that I've done, because I've covered everything that leads up to this happening. We have video clips of Molly literally admitting she's doing this. So Molly says she's doing it. It happens, but if we believe that she and her friends did it, the ones that are really close attacking nonsense did it, we're all of a sudden crazy. Actually, no, you're crazy because you didn't listen to her. You're not taking her word for it. There's no one else out there doing this to nonsense but that group of people. Also, we've got people that Molly hangs out with. You saw this video that I covered and Nonsense covered a few days ago, where she goes live and it's one of Molly's old friends that turned against her, but then isn't against her, but then is against her, literally doxing bunches of people live on their streams. Okay? So yes, these people did this. Next point will be the background stuff, and then I think we can go ahead and get out of here, Navy, because I know Nonsense. When did you say Nonsense was going live? Do you know?
She's actually live right now.
All right, let's do this last part, and then I'm going to shoo you guys over to Nonsense's stream. This has to do, some of you know, some of you already know about what's up. I'm not going to directly tell you. I'm going to be vague. I'm going to try to respect, this situation, the privacy of certain people. I don't know the details. All I know is I know the general backbone of the story, but I didn't get in and look at the whole thing because I didn't want to violate someone's privacy. I didn't know if it would or not, and I don't care to, so I'm going to talk about that really quick. Yeah, Daryl, I'll give rocks right before I end the stream, okay? So let me finish this. It's not going to be long, and then I'll give the rocks. Gotcha? All right. Okay. So, there is a person who has ingrained themselves in the community, number one. Number two, they have tried to buddy up to lots of people and sending DMs, exchanging, information, trying to build a trust, and getting really close to people. So I'm going to tell you only the most extreme things, like a couple of them, and then I want to know what you think. I want to know if you think we should, as a community, if it turns out someone who is trying to get close to everybody and message everybody and all that stuff, if it turns out that they very recently have done, pretty recently done a few crazy things, is it valid to talk about it or share it? That's the question. Now, I do think that the two things, I'm going to bring up two. One was arson, and the other was terroristic threats. And honestly, Navy, help me here. What it's hard to, because at first my response was, hey, don't be talking about that in the general rooms of Discord. That was my first thing. And then we had a mod meeting and we kind of discussed it, and we were trying to figure it out without details, just general discussion, figure it out. I only had mods around at the time. But because these things are so extreme, in my opinion, yeah, I do think we might have to talk about it at some point. But what do you think, Navy? This is kind of hard, right?
Well, what's scary is when you see these people that hang out with each other and they do the same stuff and they support each other, and then you find out on top of that they've actually done some dangerous stuff, right? It's not just like, they're just, smack talking on the internet and acting big and tough. Now, some of these people have done some scary things, and it blows your mind.
Yeah, the terroristic threats part is what got me, because this person has a propensity to get mad and then go out and flip out on people. They also have a propensity to kind of bounce back, and everywhere they go, they try to pretend as if they super support the people they're around. The chameleon, the social chameleon. And because they're ingrained into all these places as that chameleon, and then you find out they if they get mad, they might kind of go to an extreme there. That's pretty valid. That's pretty valid. But then the other thing is, like, I'm not even going to discuss the arson part, because that's just, I don't know what to say. I just know that it's very dangerous. It's very scary. So we're not going to be sharing that information and to shame anybody or anything like that. I've only discussed things. I made sure that these things actually are out in the community. People, if you just look around the community, it's being shared everywhere. So the genie's out of the bottle. I just want to say that we have to give people, regardless, unless they've hurt kids or unless they've tried to literally kill somebody, because once they do those things, it's really your choice whether you'll even, ever forgive them enough to allow them around at all. I wouldn't, but I'm just saying. Now, when you have something else, these types of problems, I guess in the end, whoa! Sorry, there's noises in the background scaring me. A bunch of dishes just fell over there. I just want you to remember, you have to try to give people a chance. They have to have a chance to be better if they haven't done those horrible things, is where I was going before I got distracted, okay? So, I guess we'll wait and see what happens in the community, because unfortunately, the people that, this all came out. Why did this come out? Why did it start getting shot around? It happened after Molly doxed this person. So this is not the community's fault. This is something Molly dug up, Molly shared around. I don't know who gave it to her, but she did decide. I've seen a literal screenshot sent to me, securely and deleted, where Molly shared this person's picture and just blasted this person. And so, like, when is there, it's different if, like, when Molly, if let's say Molly didn't do that and it didn't blast into the community, right? People could literally talk about this in their communities in private, and then they could maybe talk to that person, maybe let that person know, like, listen, you know, we want to give you a chance. We want to let you be here, and we want you to be able to interact and share your opinions. Don't go after anybody, because with the fact of us knowing this, if you do start going after people, it's going to be just, what are we supposed to think? Like, we're all going to be scared out of our minds. That would be if a community decided to be okay with that, okay? The fact that it's been blasted, the last thing I'll say, so that I can pass all of you over to Nonsense, mods, do me a favor, start sharing the link to... Can I redirect? No, I can't. I have to have Nonsense click a button inside of her studio for me to redirect everybody there. Do me a solid, mods. Share the link to Nonsense's stream so that the peeps can open it and get ready to go over there, okay? In the live chat. Last thing I'm going to say, though, is if you come to me and you ask me whether we should not persecute people, we should give people a chance, I say yes. But it depends on what they've done and how severe it is, and you have to talk to the community first. You got to talk to the people that are going to be affected, right? So sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just can't because you don't want to share the information. So my biggest point is, when is Molly going to be stopped? When is this going to be stopped? This is incitement. This is a massive violation of incitement of TOS. I hate that. I don't like bringing up when people violate the TOS because I don't want people to lose their channel, but this is massive incitement. She has incited. She has unified the worst people, the targeted harassment groups out there. They operate because a YouTuber, somebody who has subs behind them, they use the clout of the fact that their channel is growing. They directly go out and start to unify an internal group of people that will dox and harass for them. We've watched the Lobster Cult do this. We've watched the Cater Cult do this. We've seen now Molly's little internal group doing this. And there are other creators out there that do this. And they use that clout. They unify a group of people that will go this far. They test people. They see who will go too far and who won't. They kick out people that won't do this kind of stuff for them. And they use the people in the inner group that either have a mental disability, they have some type of issue, maybe they're just evil, maybe they're crazy, and they'll do this stuff to other people, and they weaponize them against their enemies. Yes, the Lobster Man, yes, the Caters, and yes, Molly all fit that description. That is them inciting people based on whatever makes them willing to do this, violating TOS massively, to go out and harass their enemies, to harass the people that anger them. And then they have the gall. They'll sit there and go, I didn't do it. I don't know what happened. I might have told people to do it, and I might have like shared the info, and I might have attacked her live and incited the craziest people to go after her, but I didn't do that. No, yes, you did. It's like you being a mob boss and you organizing your mob to go shoot a bunch of other mob members. And then you're like, well, I didn't go shoot them. You still go to prison. In fact, the leader typically goes the longest. So I don't want to hear the bullshit anymore. These people that are out, you see me, you see Nonsense, every other YouTuber who's even related to any of this stuff. If they are even reporting on this, will rush to their channels. They'll tell you they disavow it. They tell you they won't do it. So the problem is, why are these people that are covering this or trying to edge themselves into these communities not disavowing this? Because they're involved. Why are they sweeping it under the rug? Because they're involved. Literally, it is a logical reason to see that who's involved in this. It's literally how it works. All right. Go to Nonsense's stream. If you want to support me, it's paypal.me/UNIRock or $UNIRACHEL. You can find those pinned to the top of the chat if you want to support us. It is the 18th, only a couple days before YouTube payday. So if you want to support us, it really helps. But you don't have to. It's optional. It just helps us. So you can support us for free by liking, subscribing to this channel, rockAlot, at UNIRocktv on Twitter and UNIRock2 on YouTube. And you can support the community by spreading awareness of what's happened. Do not ever share private or personal information about anybody, but spread awareness of what's happened. Make sure that you literally share your voice. Use social media. Use it the right way. Because yes, we're all just a bunch of people. And historically, you can change things. I'll get cringy. I will get cringy right now because they did this to Nonsense's kids. I'll get cringy because they did this. Group together, follow the rules, do it the right way, use your voice, tag team YouTube on Twitter. We will lead everybody in doing this, because if we do it at the same time, we can have an effect. And Molly has 1,000 clips of her breaking the rules to the most extreme degree. Well, guess what, Molly? You need to go live right now, Molly, go lightly, and tell people never to target people's children. Do not attack the families. Do not lie on the families. Who cares if they're your enemies or not? You need to do that now. You won't do that, but you could. You could do the right thing for the first time in your damn life. I have been UNIRock Navy. Thank you for helping me through this, man. Appreciate you very much.
Anytime, but don't forget the rocks.
I'm loading the rocks up right now. Peggy, thank you for the donation. And let's go ahead and see if we can get the peeps together in Discord. I'm going to watch Nonsense for a few minutes. I'd like to come back and stream with you tonight, but I think we've done a good enough stream. Why do I have so many subscribers? Holy crap, I've got a lot of subs. Wow. All right. Looks like we got a little growth going on. Make sure you sub, guys. It really does help out. Rocks. Let me get in rocks. I got to do rocks. Guys, thank you. Initiating outro sequence. Engage. I am a robot. I am programmed to make fun of Molly and Betty forever because of them doing this to Nonsense as kids. Ha, 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 ha. Robots love rocks. 500,000 rocks coming at ya. 500,000 free rocks coming at ya. Type or emoji in the chat to get your rocks.